The Aloha Hour with Johny and Dewey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. As usual, we have a very, very special guest today. He is a sponsored professional surf and wave photographer. In 2010, he became a staff photographer with Surfer magazine and became the magazine's senior staff photographer when he was only 25 years old. His work has appeared in magazines like Sports Illustrated, National Geographic, ESPN, The Magazine, and in advertisements for companies from Billabong to Chanel. His professional career has taken him to Indonesia, Tahiti, Hawaii, Japan, California, Australia, and Hong Kong, and probably many others. And for clients like Lululemon, Chanel, Ironman Triathlon, Red Bull, Ruka, and many others, he is the one and only Mr. Zach Noyle.
There goes half the show, Zach.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Hey.
what the hell, Zach? Stop already. Holy crap.
Epic to be here, guys. Thank you so much. Love the setup and
Thank you.
what you guys are about. I mean, you guys bring the energy.
Thank you.
And the
It's
Aloha, really.
Red Bull.
Oh, the Red Bull.
It's
You
the
guys,
Red Bull. Red Bull.
you guys bring the Red Bull.
Yeah, and lately it's truly.
Right on.
Truly Red Bull.
So, thank you very much for coming. You know, it means a lot to us that you came. I can speak for myself. I look at you as a hero, and the reason is because you are able to combine everything together, the brands that you own, the influence, the generosity, the nonprofit, your commitment to the community. Always very inspiring. We want you to kind of walk us through your life so we understand where you're coming from, how did it started. Tell us everything, and please don't forget to remember that you were state champion in swimming while you went, I think, at Punaho.
See, he's a fish.
He's a fish.
He's a fish.
He's a fish.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Only in the research that we did, we realized that. So, yeah, kudos. man.
Yeah, well,
That's what's
thank
up.
you. Well, where do we begin? I think, it started, my dad is a commercial photographer. He shoots hotels, food, fashion, you name it, in Hawaii, he shoots. And growing up around photography, I was never very interested in it. I always wanted to go to the beach with my friends, be in the water, be in the sun. If he was shooting some food or different things like that, all right, I was down there gonna go eat a few of the extra things around, you know what I mean? But other than that, I wasn't always interested in photography per se, and where it really came into was when I moved away. So let's take one step back. Sorry, guys. So swimming and water polo, because I know Jonathan, it's a hot topic on it. He's mentioned a few times.
Honestly, it's a hot topic just because I can imagine you in Speedos, and that's why it's a hot topic. Please continue.
Absolutely. So swimming and water polo.
Yeah.
Throughout my middle school as well as like high school, I did swimming and water polo, and swimming was year-round. So I did competing in club swimming for Kamehameha schools. And so I actually went to Punahou, but you could swim different clubs. And so I was a part of the Kamehameha schools swim club. And we were state champions for a multitude of years, back to back, and got to win some state championships as well as some records on the sprint swimming.
Zach Noyle.
and so it's a little bit, along with the surfing and the water polo, anything to do with water. Get me in the water. And that was my thing. And I ended up going away to Chapman University for college. And while away,
What was your major of photography?
business.
What?
So guys,
Okay.
here's a little known fact. I failed photography in high school.
Yes.
Yes. And
Punahou didn't pass you.
yep. And my photography teacher to
They're
this day
regretting it now.
will
huh?
not
Comes
let
to
me
your
come back.
photocon.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won't let me come back to speak at the school.
Yeah.
No, and so
Of
it's
course.
wild. So I've spoke at all different grades and classes and subjects, and I think he's a little irritated at me for not passing, but it's okay. So I didn't jump right into it. I took it. It was good, enjoyed it, but not my thing.
Business.
Yeah, business.
Chapman, okay.
Yeah, business. So business really excites me, business and marketing.
Yeah.
And that's what I went to Chapman for, but I quickly realized I needed to be home. I quickly realized I missed home.
Wait, what was the defining moment? Was like sitting in traffic? Where you was like, paddling out early in the morning in like thick ass wetsuit. Like what was it? And I want to know, where were you surfing when you were living? Where were you living?
Newport. So I was right in Orange County. Chapman's right in Orange County.
Yeah. So what spot in Newport?
I go to the Wedge, to
anywhere.
Huntington, regular.
Regular.
But it just wasn't it. It wasn't for me, and I quickly realized that. And I had just started shooting in the water, but it was more because I had access to the cameras. I started first off with a film camera, and my film camera came from a gas station, but I could go take it to Sandy's and shoot. So that was just as I was leaving for college. And when I went there, I started taking my dad's cameras. I started, shooting a little bit more, shooting more film, learning on that. And I decided, what, I'm going home. No plan, but I came back. I took a multitude of different classes at KCC because I was too late to register for UH at that point by the time I decided to come back.
Well, how was your parents' reaction when you decided to bail out of college? Were they supportive?
They were very supportive. You know what's the most amazing thing is my dad, no matter what I've done, he has been supportive. He never pushed me into photography. I think if he pushed me into photography, I wouldn't be here and loving it as much as I do now, because he always was just there as a support. So when I was interested in swimming, water polo, he was there. When it became photography, he was there just all the same. It wasn't a special help or anything like that. It was just supportive. But I came back because it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't for photography yet. And I started taking e-business classes, marketing, everything I could kind of get myself into was what I started doing. And little by little, I started shooting more, traveling more, go on this trip, doing these things, to the point where my teacher told me on the next semester, you got to drop out right now or you're not going to pass. You're not going to pass at this point already on attendance. So I dropped out and never looked back. Never went to UH. And you know what? It's just been full speed ahead ever since. And I still love the business and marketing side of everything, but I attribute a lot of that to who I am and what I am today. And having that sense of it, also a lot to my parents of helping me to be here and having that business sense my dad does. But, those sides and knowing how to deal with the clients and all of those things, just full speed ahead. And now we're here, and I've been a staff photographer for Surfer, and that was an amazing 6-7 years of my life. And you know what's funny? I started with Transworld Surf.
Wow.
And Transworld Surf
Who was the editor there back then?
Pete Terrace brought me on. Pete Terrace is a great guy. And he brought me on, and after shooting for a while, they finally brought me on as a staff photographer, got a retainer, got to travel, got my travel budget, got everything.
How old were you then?
21.
Wow. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, and so my dad was very proud. He grew up in South Africa, actually, and he grew up surfing and J-Bay, and he had all his buddies and all his friends, and he was very proud. But, Transworld was cool, but when I became a surfer staff photographer, he had that growing up, and he could tell all his friends, and they knew exactly what it was. And, you could just tell the different, tone in his voice on the Surfer magazine. So that was pretty damn cool to have that and to be able to work with a magazine. I mean, now it's gone.
Yeah. The other months, they shut down.
A month ago, gone. And they were
It's so sad, Zach. Yeah. The industry is so, it breaks my heart, man. That magazine changed my life. I had poster of Jerry Lopez and Ronnie Burns in my room, and then the other side I have Tommy Kern, and my favorite guy back in the day, no one knows, was Martin Potter. It was the young school guy was throwing it.
So sick, yeah.
Right? And those things changes his life. I mean, that's...
Yeah. I had posters on my wall, too. I would
pull
them out. I'd imagine. I actually had ones when I was just getting older and starting to get into photography, and I'd take the cover, Surfer or Transworld, and put my photo below.
Yeah!
And it was my visualization. Wow. Never in a million years did I think it would be my photos on the cover.
Did you take a photo of that wall?
I wish I did. I had my room first. It was just covered with surf photos, and then I was like, I want to shoot. How do they shoot that? How do it? And then it started evolving from there. So.
But I saw there's a lot of you actually hit the cover of Surfers several times.
Yeah, I think I have about 10 or so covers, which is just incredible. It never got old, and it was something that was just an incredible thing to have. And
how many editors did you work with in your whole lifetime there at Surfer?
Surfer photo editor was one. It was Grant Ellis. There's several different editors.
Yeah.
But one photo editor.
Yeah. How about the main key editor?
I think there's 2 or 3.
But you don't work too close with those.
No,
guys.
it's
Mostly
mainly the
with
photo editor to approve the trips, do the things, do the travel. And when I was younger, that was so fun.
Oh yeah,
quick,
you're 21.
like I'd had like a go bag, and it would be like, okay, like, hey, looks like it's gonna be big in Tahiti tomorrow. Gone. Oh, Mexico. Okay, gone. Australia. And like on.
That's the dream of every person in the world.
Skip it. There's so much meat. What's in the go bag? I'm thinking, what's in the go bag for you all the time?
Wetsuit, fins, my camera gear, extra hard drives, and barely any clothes. Right? Like you go for a week. What do you need? And we're not going. I would get a set budget. And then we'd be like, okay, like, you could blow that all in one trip, but it's like, I would stretch it and do as many trips. Every couple weeks I'd be going again. Sick. You know what I mean? Like you would get that set budget and I would just you'd be sleeping on someone's floor. You'd be going, it's making it, I'd use miles on this one, but I go,
you check where it's going to be like a good swell.
Yeah.
And then you make your decision and you head over there.
Yeah.
And you usually head over there with already surfers, or you meet them over there?
No, we usually plan a trip with different surfers and take the trips.
Okay, so I know you took a lot of trip with Jamie O'Brien.
A lot, yes. Shot a lot of his early movies, like the covers and the different things I shot with him. And I have a crazy story with Jamie. So one time we were like, okay, there's this wave in Mexico we're gonna go to, and it's incredible. We need to take a jet ski down from LA. All right. Okay, so
wait. Jet ski from LA to Mexico.
Driving it down though.
Okay,
Taking it down, but we're gonna drive down from LA.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, meet in LA. He goes and buys like a old truck. We go pick up the jet ski. He's like, okay, we're gonna leave tomorrow. 33 hours of driving. We left the next morning at like 3:30, 4 a.m. to get across the border at first light because you don't want to be driving in the dark in Mexico. Right. So we drove the entire day from 3:34. Taking turns to get to a town before it got dark.
Did you go past Ensenada? How deep in?
No, we went mainland. I'm talking past Guadalajara.
Holy shit.
So this is deep. And so we're halfway there, and the next day we're exhausted.
Yeah.
We don't wake up sunrise. We're like, oh, shoot, it's like we missed sunrise. Okay, we need a spare tire for the jet ski trailer because that'd be detrimental. We have a bright Red Bull jet ski, but we covered it. Like, you don't want to be a target, right? You want to be low key. So we find a tire for the thing. We live about 2 hours late than what we should have. Drive up, all these like Federale guys in black like SWAT gear, machine guns, all these trucks on the side of the road, all shot up. And it had just happened. And if we had left at sunrise, we would have been right in the middle of that. Like bodies, everything. A ton of guys with machine guns everywhere, and we had just missed it, like by an hour or something like that.
What the?
It just works out in those ways.
How are the waves?
Perfect.
How big?
Perfect.
That day or the next day?
Oh, well, we had to drive until that night. So it was like came later in the week.
Yeah.
But we went all summer back there. So we kept the jet ski and the car down there.
Yeah.
And we used it for many years to come down there.
Mostly all right still, yeah?
Yeah.
Mostly all right.
The ones where he does all the step-offs and things. Yeah, where all the boys go down there. And it's, we went a lot and was incredible.
So wait, you're 21, right? Mm-hmm. You're hanging out with those boys.
Yeah.
Everybody's rowdy and crazy.
Yeah.
You're in fucking Mexico.
Yeah.
Past Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Tell me about the nights. Tell me about the crazy stuff.
I wish there was crazy nights, but there wasn't at that point. I promise. No, because we were going in and right back out, and we would go with the swells, and we'd be leaving right out of the thing. So, at that point and being so young in that, it was a little bit scarier, especially not knowing if we had a guide or someone that was like down there local, would have felt a little more comfortable. But it was a little wild when we were going through. There was a lot of the like cartel wars and things kind of happening.
How did your dad feel that, his son's traveling the world?
Well, your work's gonna get better and better because of those experiences. 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's beyond skin deep experience shit right
Yeah.
there. I mean, that's gonna change your lens and your art for sure.
Absolutely. And something that I really try to do when I travel is to experience like new foods, the new culture. You got to see those things. There's so many places to go that you may never go back to. So if you don't experience it then, how are you? I've been on trips and gone by myself sightseeing or different things. Peru, different place, because it's like, it's a down day. They're just gonna cruise, watch TV, or do. It's like, no, not me. Like I don't know if I'm ever gonna come back. I don't know if this is gonna be here. We don't know, but now I can check it off that I had been, and see those culture and different things that are just so incredible.
Was it stressful to travel as a kid with all the surfers back and forth?
A little bit for the gear. The gear is what's stressful. It's like carrying all the gear, making sure everything's, I carry it all on. I don't want to check in my camera gear. So it's like clothes, fins, wetsuit, check in. Carry on, camera gear, hard drives. You know what I mean? Make it look light. Carry it right on the plane because you don't want to separate with that. You can deal with all the other things if you don't have it when you get there. But if I showed up and didn't have my camera gear, my water housings, all that, I send a second like backup housing on the plane, but I carry one on. You know what I mean? And but I always travel with 2 sets of everything.
Because you're a professional.
I want to show up
Shit
and
happens.
get it done, So yeah, absolutely. So
A sticker on
So
somebody's bumper
tell
is
us another
real.
wild story from your travels. Tell us something that, like, what was the moment that you were the most afraid of through all your travels? Give me a moment where you freaking
Show
out.
you in your BVDs.
So we're in Tahiti. And so
I love the story that starts, we're in Tahiti.
I've been in Tahiti 20 times probably.
Right.
I started going with a buddy of mine, Travis, and we had no money, no anything, no plans, no
who's
friends.
with you? Who's with you?
My buddy Travis Watanabe. So he works with Red Bull now, and he's a good friend of mine forever.
Yeah.
And we'd go down there. So we were like, biggest swell, like we're going down. So we'd go, we wouldn't have a boat. We wouldn't have anything. We'd be paddling out.
Holy shit.
So we went out and it was like a rising swell. So we tied some boards in the channel and I swam in to go shoot some photos. And no boats came out, pretty big and everything. Sunsets, beautiful.
How big? How big? Just
10 feet. Yeah, beautiful. No one out. These are the days like you still could get away with like less people than it is now. And
no one's in the lineup.
no one's in the lineup.
Empty.
Beautiful. I'm swimming in the channel, and the channel's deep. And all of a sudden, just the biggest fin comes up, about 15, 20 feet from me, between me and the buoy, where I'm swimming in the black water of the channel. Big shark. And,
How far are you from shore now?
Chopo is so far out. No one's going to hear you scream. Why even scream? What would screaming do?
Relieve
save the
stress.
energy, put the housing.
Stress, maybe? I don't know.
Just use more energy. Put the housing kind of like between me, and like keep swimming. It's where I need to grab. I grabbed the board so quick, and you don't want to splash a lot, but went right over the reef. Me and the other guy. There's another guy that needs to grab his board. Like he had tied up an extra board or something, and holy cow, that was pretty stressful and scary. And I think like weeks or months later, they had a picture and there had been like a big tiger shark there in the area that they had like, I want to say they accidentally caught or something, because they're very like respectful of the ocean and things, and it had got caught up in a net or done something, and it was a big one in that area. I was like, it's probably the one I saw, but can't be sure. But it was definitely something very large fish. So.
How do you actually take it, the fact that there are sharks everywhere and you got to be in the water? I mean, look, the surfers are on the surfboard, right?
Yeah.
They surf, they paddle back, but who is the tastiest guy in the water?
You know what?
Zach Noyle.
Wait, we're in their home. We're in their home, and you know what? Like
100%.
sharks, they aren't going after human seed. I think there's only a few places which are terrifying that they're actually like eating people. Usually it's mistaken identity, and so it's one large like bite. But a shark's large bite will take a limb, and people bleed out, and people will die from bleeding out, as opposed to getting eaten by a shark. That would be terrifying. Many times they just take off a whole leg or multiple legs, and people are bleeding out. That's how people die. There's no cases that I know, like in Hawaii, where they're just sitting there and eating someone. That would be terrifying.
Is this fact calm you down when you're in the water then?
No, but I mean, we're in their home. I mean, being vigilant and like respectful.
Are
obviously,
you looking when you're in the water?
that.
Are you looking around you? Are you like?
Oh, in deep water, you are. I mean, I've swam across my fair share of channels. I've been to Australia in some of the sharkiest waters. We went one time. I went down with Kobe Aberton down to Australia, South Oz, and we had a jet ski for like 5 guys, so we all couldn't fit. So they took 2 guys out, drop them off, come back, grab 2. It was stupid where we were like, okay, you're sitting in the water, and we were 10, 15 minutes down the coastline out at sea. So it's like silly.
Wow.
You know.
That's heavy.
We're here, and you know what? We are in their home, so being that respectful, it's...
So tell me something that you are afraid of. There has to be something that you're afraid of.
Traffic.
Traffic does it, yeah.
Humans.
Yeah,
we fuck up this planet.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I love everything. I'm not really sure. I'm not off the top of my head right now, no.
I like it. There's nothing you're
I'm not
afraid
saying
of.
I'm just completely fearless, but at the top of my head right now, I can't.
Well, you know, a lot of people tell stories from you taking pictures at Pipe where you stand on the reef and like mountains, come on you and you're just standing there chilling. So
I mean, pipeline definitely scares me, but in a respectful way, because you have to have that respect for it. And when I go out to shoot pipeline, I am always kind of nervous, a little scared and a little thing, but it's more out of respect and knowing, absolutely. Because why would I still be like going out there and shooting when it's big or gnarly? You know, if you didn't have those butterflies in your stomach, right? Like, doesn't that like, that's what keeps us kind of like going and like wanting and that adrenaline. And so I feel that it's something that like, you know, I hope doesn't go away. I'm a lot more selective in the days that I go. I mean, I could tell you another gnarly story of pipeline.
Please do.
Okay, well.
As many as you want.
Okay,
we got all night.
As big and gnarliest as it gets. And I'm young
Second
in my...
reef?
Third reef. Or bigger.
Who's out
I want to
out
say
there?
it's 15 to 18 feet.
Who's out there on the lineup? Deep
2
outside.
or 3 guys. That's it.
Any idea who that was?
That was it. No.
No, okay.
And
how old were you now?
23, 22.
Fuck.
And I get down in the shore, and usually you jump in about Jamie O'Brien's house. You get swept just straight down the beach.
What time of the day? I'm sorry. I'm trying to visualize this.
Mid-morning, like 11, 12,
12.
So
Okay.
I get there. Scott Eichner, another photographer, is down there. He's watching. He's like, man, I've been watching for a while. There's just no breaks in the swell. It's big. He's down by the Billabong house. Mind you, that's 200 yards to the left of where you usually jump in. But the current is ripping so hard, you need to time it where you jump in, you get ripped down to the right, barely making any room going out, and then you get sucked out by Ehukai. If you miss Ehukai, you're going to Rocky Point, and if it's that big, you're screwed. So better time it right and make sure you got it right.
Wow.
So we stand there for a while. A couple more guys come down, another photographer, Pat Stacy, some surfers. We watch for 30 minutes, waiting, standing on there, just nervous, as big as it gets, but there's some good ones.
No one's out right now. No photographer.
3 guys. No photographers.
3 guys.
0.
Way outside third reef.
Like
sitting.
crazy rides going down.
Yeah, okay. How strong are trades we're talking? Under 10, above 10?
Above 10.
Above 10. So it's about 17,
Oh,
15.
it's at 10 to
stiff.
15. Classic pipeline
Okay.
blowing offshore.
Got it.
Like just
Okay,
classic.
Okay, got it.
And we finally think this is the break. We jump in the water. Current is so strong. We get ripped down to Ehukai and look up, and there's a 10-foot wave about to land on our head on the sandbar. Okay? Take a big breath. Dive under. Swim. It's getting rocked. Just like a train had hit us. Come up. I see like one guy there, Pat Stacy. They're all swimming. And at that point, being young, I let my pride and like ego get the better of me. Whereas like now more, you need to know those things. You need to know when that danger or those things or your limits and that pride, you need to let that go. And I dive under another one. 8, 10 waves in this set. on the head. God. I look up 3-4 waves. I don't see them. I'm like, they all made it. I need to go. That was that pride. I get out. I'm the only one that made it out. Everyone had turned around and went back in.
Oh, shit.
And I'm out there by myself with 3 guys in the lineup, so tired that I'm just like, now I have to do that and go back in. I didn't get a single shot. I sat out there for 30, 40 minutes waiting. Nowadays, they have the jet ski out there, usually on big days for different things. But at that time, I just sat out there and then had to do the gauntlet again and come back in. I'm just like, you need to know your limits. You need to, always have that as like safety. But it was a pride and ego thing at that point and just terrifying.
Brett, I'm trying to visualize, right? Like 10 foot, right? And the whole time you're talking, Zach, I forgot you have this fucking camera with you.
Yeah.
You cannot fucking lose.
No.
And you're getting pounded with this thing. And 10, fuck you.
And you're down
That's
looking up at
crazy.
it. That's a 20-foot, that's a 2-story building. Like try to lay on the ground next time and look up at a 2-story building. Yeah. And that's what it feels like over and over again, trying to just drown you. So, you get, with time and age and maturity, you get that wisdom with experience, and that's how we grow. And that's how we become stronger in many ways, hopefully without any major injuries, right? And yeah.
Is there any specific training that you do, or because I saw you partying hard. The question is, do you train hard as well to balance it out?
Absolutely.
I thought,
absolutely. You have to, because
I thought so.
we're more and more surfers are treating themselves as athletes.
Yeah.
And I feel just as much I'm right there with them and need to do the same.
100%.
And you need to have and be ready for that same moment. It goes to knowing your abilities, knowing yourself, and being ready. Because if you think purely on experience you're going to get through this wave or do that, like, you're wrong. Like, you need to have that training and be ready and optimal.
Wow, that's insane. That's insane. What kind of do you do breathing techniques or just like fitness?
A
like
lot of
regular
swimming.
cardio?
A lot of swimming. Some like cross training. Different workouts. I've been boxing with Nito, who's the man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nito's the man, and been doing that. So that's
We're
just
gonna
been
talk to
kicking my
Zach
ass.
to get into jiu-jitsu. We're gonna talk to Zach. I remember you walking by the store all the time, looking in, and I go, "What are those fuckers running around? Grappling behind the mat, and all hot and sweaty."
Yeah,
That's so funny.
I'm up for anything. I want to just, have that better fit for those moments, right? We got to just kind of be ready, and that's what.
No, you got to bring your body to be able to.
A lot of swimming. I swim a lot with fins, without fins, and just different things like that. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit when you started to actually monetize your talent, because I think this is something that is really important to talk about, and this is something that is really important to our listeners. They want to understand, how can I take a hobby, right, and turn it into an income stream so I can be happy when I wake up from the job I do while making money and paying rent?
Absolutely.
Give us some insights.
Absolutely. And I feel like, especially with like photography, surf photography, there's a lot of people doing it, especially with like the coming of like social medias and things like that. It's, it makes it very attractive in that way of the look and everything like that. But
and excuse me, I bet now you can do it with an iPhone. Back in the day, you had your dad's stuff, so you were
film.
unique. Now everybody can come, take an iPhone, put it in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And went with like building my brand, and I feel looking at it and knowing my strengths and my weaknesses, and not trying to like, I got to a point where I was like, okay, so having an agent, having a publisher, having like a PR, like making sure that the things that I'm not good at, and surrounding myself with the people that are good at in those areas.
Yeah.
And treating it as a brand. And so many people are like, oh, well, they take this percentage or they do this. But it was like, yeah, but if they're making me 50% more and they're taking that, I'm like, go for it, right? Like you gotta look at all these things. Yeah. But so many people look at it like, oh, they're taking this or they're doing this. It's like, yeah,
you didn't have that money before. Trust me.
Exactly.
If 50% more than you had yesterday.
Exactly, and that's where it's like,
and you get exposure too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what was the first time that you actually sold a picture? Like you took a picture and then someone offered you money for that picture?
For print or like publishing? Because
For publishing.
Publishing. So I think it would be Heavy Water Magazine. It's really Noyle. Back in the day when he started and did that, and he's always been amazing, like kind of helping and like mentoring me, and really helped guide me in those early days to kind of do it, and it just shot from
So
there.
that was the first one.
That guy is like a walking.
And then you started to get like more.
Yeah, and more notice and talking to magazines, and you know what I attribute a lot to also is like being able to work with the client and communicate with the client, and like not only a client but like a magazine, the publisher, these different brands, the managers, the different people, and being able to do that has allowed me to, having great talent. I was just telling someone this today. It's like having great talent is great, but also how you work with a client, that's paramount.
Yeah.
Because if you can't work with the client doesn't want to be around you. The talent, they don't want to. You're not going to get more jobs. Your actual talent's only going to go so far, and it's like, so.
Yeah, you need to have the social skills. If not.
Yeah, I mean, just as you with like your work, it's like you have if you can't be good at you gotta kind of like have a well-roundedness to it,
100%.
and then you can, and so it's. Yeah, I feel like, really building my brand and looking at it as like a brand.
When he mentioned Heavy Water Magazine, like back in the day, there was like My Electronic Magazine, or like called H2O, and there was like Heavy Waters, right? Like the only two magazine, and they're both basically free, and there was the only surf magazine. Like back then, that was like, it's like surfer. I mean, it's so big part of our culture, and when you lose print, to me, it's like you lose your library. Kills me. I want to get into that with you actually, because I love to hear your perspective.
So we're 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
And so I know that you started to branch out and not just be involved in taking pictures. I saw you like doing all kinds of things. Tell us a little bit about the other things that you do except photography. I know you. I heard. I'm not sure if it's true. I'm gonna ask it right now. I don't know. Let's. I didn't fact check this, but what is your connection to Wyola?
So David Lin started it and was a friend, and he approached me very early on, and so I have partial ownership with it. And
So why did you why you discontinued the chocolate flavor? All our listeners, they said to ask you why you discontinued it.
I'm pissed, but you know what? It was our fault.
I loved it. It was the
on
best.
The packaging. It didn't convey the story correctly because it said chocolate water when it should have been more geared like as a chocolate milk. Yeah. But we are looking at bringing it back with a different branding. And so it'll come back, but I agree. That was the best.
So good. It was so good.
Wait, chocolate with cocoa
So it's
water.
coconut water, but it has like a
chocolate. It was so good.
So good. After a workout and it's frozen and you
Okay.
So
I'm
involved
sold.
in Wyola, a coconut water company, and I know you have also the slippers.
Yeah, Hawaiian. So we've
Hawaiian.
done that, which been a crazy ride, but from the first concept to now and still going. And
So tell a little bit about to explain, because I know you explained it to me. Everybody in town, or not everybody, but a lot of people that don't know the brand think it's Hawaiian,
yeah,
but it's
Hey,
Hawaiian.
you know what? It's kind of like Ruka. Say it however you want to say
Yeah.
it, right, guys? We'll buy it
That's
and do
so
it.
funny, man.
Do whatever you want. High-end, Hawaiian.
When I said Hawaiian, he's like, it's not Hawaiian, it's Hawaiian.
Hey, whatever you guys
Whatever
want,
works.
you can say. Yeah, yeah. That,
This is
it's
your baby, so we're gonna call your baby the way you name your baby, out of respect and love. That's
Thank
it.
you.
End of story.
You started a brand of slippers.
Yes.
Okay, so I know that you got picked up by Mana Up, which is like a
A business incubator, and
Yeah.
those are just another thing of like business side that I love and doing, and it was really like. It was like going back to school, but I loved it, and it was.
So what did Mana
learning.
Up really take the sales up? Did they really do a
they
good
helped
push?
to give me the business background.
Okay.
I'm always up to learn and to like improve.
Okay.
So it helped me to be like a better small business owner. and try to like expand it. But you know, we've been international. We have strong sales in Japan, all over. We've been doing amazing like collaborations, and now it's just, you know, in these times it's tough, but we're trying to just kind of keep it reinvented and kind of get it going again. Yeah.
I didn't know you owned that brand, and literally before you came in and we were talking, and I love your photography shit, but when you told that, I almost like fucking shit my pants. I'm a fucking huge fan, and matter of fact, we email you, Kiko Collective. I email you guys and go, hey, we really like. Is there any way we could do some like, you know, private label? Yeah, and you guys do have offer that program, and super
just high
nice.
MOQs.
I know.
Okay, at least
I
they
know.
got back.
No, they got back, and like, so I talked to my buddy. We have a a partner in Japan, and he's like, we're both like nuts about you guys shit. Long story longer, and I go, well, I think we're gonna let's just wait. Let's build our business organically when we.
Well, now you have the connection. Now you have Zach Noyle, the one and only.
Yeah, but I understand. The whole MOQ out of China is tough when you do private label. So I get it. We do the same shit, so I get it. But fucking brilliant, man, brilliant. But I think that made you. I'm telling you, that's your ticket.
Yeah.
I look at all the footwear brand, and now you get into like branding and Hawaiian shit. I'm gonna go crazy as shit. But you take a look at all the brands right now, right? And you look like iconic brand, right? So tell me some iconic footwear brand out of Hawaii. Rainbows.
Locals.
Well, no. Rainbows first, because they go back in the day.
Scott slippers.
Scotty, right? Scott,
amazing.
right? And those two are probably the most iconic, right? And you look at the marketplace, right?
But then look at the other big ones that sell the brand of Hawaii. Let's talk about it. But not from here.
Not really, but they do brilliant marketing.
Brilliant marketing.
Yeah, they do. Product's good
brilliant,
too.
and they put money back into the thing.
Yeah.
To the islands and the people and all the things.
Yeah,
but
and the live code. I get it, but it does. I get it. I understand.
And then what's the biggest one?
Huh?
That sells the brand
Locals,
of
bro.
Hawaii? Havianas.
Oh,
Means Hawaiian. And they sell
really?
the lifestyle of Hawaii. Brazilian-owned brand.
Havaiana, are they in that category? They're the biggest.
Biggest.
Oh,
By
yeah.
far.
By far.
By far.
On this podcast, on this day, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna claim this now, right? I'm gonna claim this shit now. You're gonna kick their fucking ass.
Thank you.
No, I swear to God, because the quality is fucking there, but the story behind the brand is sick and it's authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Hawaii.
I know,
Dude,
but
we
and
were
the
here.
story, and you know what I love? You're not like at this moment now. You don't have like 50,000 SKU.
Oh my God, we
Right.
have so many. We got to cut that down.
No, but you don't because you don't have 50,000 SKU.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that means like, hey, I'm gonna stick.
Maybe
to
20,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to this category. I'm gonna be really fucking good at it and really cool at it, and I'm gonna kick ass here.
I agree.
And I think that's how, because your supply chain costs gonna go out of control.
I mean, think about what is the strongest brand in the world is probably Hawaii. Just like Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like around the world, everyone knows Hawaii. Yeah. You know, it's up there with the strongest, biggest tech brands or anything like that. Hawaii. You know?
What percentage of your sales now is in e-commerce compared to the rest of the business?
Not great.
Yeah.
So that's something that needs to be a better storytelling. I mean, we've been going through some meetings and different things, but you know, there's 980 other things going and happening, and it's definitely on. We have a great team there, and we have some great new investors, and we're looking to really get it back on the track.
You're Mr. Zach Noyle. Your photography, your work, you're an artist. Any moment you want, you can help them with the.
Absolutely, and I mean, one of my latest endeavors is creating my own creative and like content agency and marketing, and it's been so fun, a hell of a ride with a buddy of mine, Kimo Kennedy, and just kind of creating it and partnering. And you know, he comes from experiential side. He was with Live Nation for a number of years, but born and raised. And we talked about this for years. And we're like, yeah. But he wasn't living here. Yeah. Like concepting it, like, well, cool. And then it finally all kind of came together. But that has been my new consuming of time. I went into the office this morning at 5:30 a.m., so it's been a long day.
No, but I think you're brilliant because that the world's
Okay,
going
so
that
you
way,
went into
though.
the office 5 a.m. to do what?
Work. We
On
got stuff.
what?
We have some multitude of things, of the things that I can talk about and do. I mean, we have amazing clients. We have a variety from City Mill, Domino's Hawaii, Red Bull I do a bunch of projects with, and working with some other like tech brands to take some products into Japan, which is pretty exciting.
So when you look at all the marketing, and you see it, you look at the evolution, especially through Corona. Everything is digital, everything is audio, video, everything is online on our screens. Where do you see it going? Where do you see is the change? Are we just starting to see the change?
Well, I mean, you know this so well. The brand is so important.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people with like the content and the different things, they can't tell their own brand stories.
Yeah.
But that's not where they're best at. You got it all, dude, like building out and like the visuals and the whole feel and the vibe. But people can't always do that for their brands. Maybe their time is better spent elsewhere, or sourcing the materials, or designing the actual materials, or doing those different things. And so we're coming in and we're being able to storytell for them. We're being able to create that content and that feel and that vibe through the photos, the videos. Like
it's basically taking something okay and making it pretty cool.
Trying, yeah.
And well, you're the best to do it. You're the best who ever did it.
Not only that, but I think that the space a content provider is like on the scale of 1 to 10 is like a 2, right? So because think about it. Look at the business climate that we're working right now, right? So like everybody's moving towards digital, everything's digital, but there's a huge chunk of business owners that they barely know how to use the tech.
Oh yeah,
right? And they don't get it. But how you tell your story emotionally and digitally, you're gonna win.
Absolutely.
When there's not enough there's a bunch of guys to give content, but you'll get that work. That's shit.
Yeah.
Right? But
Absolutely.
this space is very limited because there's so many people who need, like, I want a website design, and they're like, and they don't have no idea.
You don't have the feel to it.
Yeah.
It's
artistically,
lost.
they don't they can't visualize. Like you, right? You have this vision. Like this guy comes in here, we made bam 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 3 days. All this happened, right? But no, it's true. No, it's true. But I'm saying that everybody in business don't have that. It's not their forte.
Yeah.
That might be account. That might be great. Whatever. Great chef. Great whatever. They can put a decent website together. So it's like visual art directing.
Yeah.
That's billions, Zach. That's gonna be huge, dude.
Trying and it's
And
something.
you know
Did I tell you the
everybody
name?
too. No.
Okay, so the name is 1117, ELEVEN 17, and the reason for that is the best buoy reading for pipeline is 11 feet at 17 seconds. That's when it max out. So we take a thing from the brainstorm to the storm. It goes across the ocean. It is groomed. It is refined to deliver the best wave / product in the world.
This is how you make identity
Hawaii,
right there, live.
Tide to surf, but sounds official.
Wait.
Boom.
What did I say at the beginning of
Boom.
the show? That guy's a fish. Whatever he's gonna do, just like fucking between sets, they're gonna have to do with the fucking ocean.
Right.
Again,
Do is right.
11,
So he has Zach has also its podcast, which called Between Sets, which the name itself, you have to admit, is fucking genius. So he does the podcast, and he does that new venture, and he does the Wayola and the slippers, and he has he works with Ruka, and he's sponsored by Sunbum as well. And while all of that, you and Kimo Kennedy decided, when there was no mask on this little rock, you decided that you're going to create a non-profit called One Oahu?
Everyone Hawaii.
Everyone Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Everyone Hawaii.
So we had been working on this pre-COVID before we never knew, and it was going to be based around like community engagement, on getting our communities and our peers to understand the importance of voting. Zero political affiliation, zero bias of any sort, purely on vote. But like educating people, because I feel people don't understand it. They're intimidated by voting, but it shouldn't be intimidating. So that was it. COVID happens. So we shift. We had a huge concert planned, like in the beginning of summer, to do like a rock the style, like vote style, huge block party.
Such
Huge.
a great idea. Such a great idea.
It'll come back. Don't worry. We'll get this. And so we were able to, with 6 others, create the foundation, Everyone Hawaii. We were able to secure funding through donations to bring in 2 million face masks. And this was right as our state mandated everyone wear face masks to slow the spread.
Yeah.
We were able to charter a plane, bring it in.
You cannot look when you talk to our audience. You cannot just say I charter a plane, I bring 2 million.
There's a lot that went through.
Okay, so
we
tell
have
me.
amazing people, that were
Okay,
all
so
involved
you got
in
a charter plane. I know the Hawaiian Airlines, they help you, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you call Hawaiian Airlines, you tell them about the idea, and they say, okay, we're gonna do it.
Well, no, in hindsight, but we had, one of our amazing members of the team, Robert Karisu, was very instrumental in making it happen on the backside of those things, and just like to see his vision of that and him pushing us and doing. He's like, no, this is a way, and this is 3 weeks, month out before they even mandated anything. So he had that foresight to be able to do that.
But
What
already
a vision.
then there was a shortage, right? Already then there was a shortage. That's what I'm saying. This is like a SWAT team, Delta Force mission.
Absolutely.
Take a plane, fly him over there.
Yep.
I mean, I saw you guys with the pit. It's insane.
We brought it in, and then the thing was like, okay, how do we distribute it? And so we brought it in, and we literally unpacked all the boxes. I mean, 2 million masks, 500 in a box or whatever, and we unloaded into a thing. We spent the whole day unloading it. Then I was like, it's one of the best ways to get people involved. Show we can hit it on people doing community service as well as protecting their community doing it, was to find these local influencers in their different areas. Okay, so Yancy Medeiros and Ha'akeolana on the west side, like they can be the voice to their people and show it that, this isn't a random person coming in. And we went around the islands, around the state. We went to every island. Yeah. We shipped over we went over to Big Island, Kauai. We didn't physically go over it, but we got masks over to all these islands and gave it out for free to the communities.
That's absolutely
2 million
insane.
face masks given out for free, no charge, no strings attached, and it was crazy.
How does it feel to make history? You will always be remembered.
And thank you. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It still doesn't feel real. And honestly, when COVID happened, I'm like, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to take this class. I'm going to do all these things. I'm not going to be that busy. I'm going to watch this movie. I didn't do any of them. I didn't do a single thing that I planned to do.
Wow.
But
Brett and I had a podcast, and we're, I'm going to learn another language, right, Brett? You and I were going to do all these things. And you know what? You're right. We didn't do shit.
Yeah.
Life goes, man. Life
goes.
goes on, and you got to move.
Yeah.
It's about the now.
Yep.
It's about the now.
Absolutely. And now we've shifted into some voter stuff as we come up a week out. And we did a mayoral debate. We've done multiple different education things, all unbiased. We have no political affiliation. That's the beauty.
Okay.
I don't even know who the other members want to vote for in a political thing, because that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's about educating and just having your voice heard.
I mean, it's so funny. As we, kind of reflect back since March, right, until now, you watch our country and you go, wow. I mean, it was like the whole gnarly, BLM and all that, right? And to me, it's great. Whatever that is, if you take that much effort and do all that protesting and you don't vote, to me, it's the waste. And you look at our country and you look at statistically, man, the truth is we're not going to be able to change the leadership until everyone between 18 and really now is 42 vote. Until that group comes out, and how we get there, I don't know. And I'm stuck. And
the numbers are depressing of how low it is
for
our
that.
demographic of youth.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like over 90 has way more.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's like, and if you don't get them by a certain age, they're not going to be voters.
Right.
If you get them, they're going to be voters for life. But it's there's some weird. I'm hoping we can shift that, and that's where having these voices of reason, having these influencers, these people within the community talk and do that, show that they're doing that community support, using their voice. Use their platform, and it's like...
Zach, how old are you?
35.
That's my point. When you have people in this millennial age group and getting out there and making a difference, it's gonna influence. I mean, we might get 2%. That's 2% better. Like it's like 50%
we already
better.
broke the records.
Yeah.
It already broke the nation and our state records have been broken on voter registration and turnout.
So let me ask you some insider information, if I may.
Yes.
I know there was a project where Kamea Dar, I think you were somehow involved. You guys did Run 808 on the building, and then a couple of days later, you had to paint it in white. Everybody said, "Oh, we're gonna tell you what's going to happen. What happened on Wednesday?" That was like a month ago. I never heard the story. I want you to tell our listeners what was the story. I asked you if I can ask anything, and you said yes. So now,
of course,
you have the right to say, I take the fifth.
I mean, Kamea's a great friend of mine, and we worked together on that project, and it was insane to see something like that come to life. Someone didn't want it up.
Wow.
We don't really know who, and there was no like direct threats, but there definitely was leverage that would be held, and Kamea, they make their living on doing these paintings. So to have any more opposition or friction for them in the future was not worth it. So it's just agreed upon.
Yeah.
Let's take it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what? Hey, 4 days, the impact of that was huge.
So
it's like, if
100%.
it was still up, it'd be cool. But the fact that it was taken down and like there and all the mystery behind it.
But who would mind? You didn't say go right. You didn't say go left. You didn't say go red. You didn't say go blue.
They're saying that it was
go.
a sign and it wasn't artistic. It's like Kamea is a premier mural artist
Yeah.
in Hawaii, and you're gonna say it wasn't artistic? He even said all these pieces, how he did the block letters, how he drew, all was freehand. And he was like, this is like an ode to like the 80s, like graffiti artists in the big black letters and everything. He's like, and you're gonna say it's not? So what if he put a flower next to it? It was gonna be like, come on, like. So it's obviously someone in a position of power on like.
Okay, so you
billboards and that subject that is.
Okay, so you get a phone call. You get a phone call and say, boys.
Well, we went back and forth for a while because we could have potentially done, but it just wasn't worth like more opposition.
Yeah, fighting for it.
And we felt, hey, you know what?
The
We
impact
got
is
so
done.
much impact.
Yeah. Okay, so you go there and then you got to paint it in white.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And they like left like the little signature on the bottom, and they kind of left it on the thing. We thought about all kinds of different ways. We're like, should we just go like black over the whole thing? Should you make it just one coat? Like, I think it's like, you know what? Don't even like bother. I think, it was done. We're looking at maybe doing something else.
I think the fact that you guys are so involved in the community and really care, that's all you need. Doesn't matter if it's still there on the building or not. It matters,
We have to. And that's the thing. After, this election, we do plan to still be within the community and help with social and like civil issues that face our youth today. It will go back to voting eventually. It will go to whatever faces us, whatever happens. We're going to be here to try to help our community and to better educate the youth in whatever issues come
So
about.
name the
Fuck,
people again.
I wish he runs for governor or something.
100%.
I'm sitting here, I'm listening.
No, he has my vote already.
No, it's like he's a business guy and he's an ocean guy.
And he is hard.
So he's going to take care of the earth, and he understands what small business struggle is. We need you.
Zach,
Fucking please.
2028.
I don't know.
Don't remember.
No way.
I know,
Don't
no,
forget,
but don't say
forget.
no way. I'm just saying don't say no way.
Okay,
Just say, hey, you know what? Because you're here, you're serving the island, you're serving all of us, and dude, he's so.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
okay,
It's beautiful,
so
man.
I just got to get back
Yeah,
to.
I'm sorry.
So you have that. You do the building. You involved here. You involved there. You involved. Tell us what else. I mean, how many other things are you involved? I know you're working with Ruka, and I know that your bag. You did a collaboration with them. You launched a bag in
with you guys.
2018. I think it was the with us was the when you launched your second was at my place,
Yes.
but the first one was in I think 2018.
Yeah, maybe earlier.
And I heard that bag that year was the best seller in all the bags.
Oh my! Well, I think items.
In all the items?
on Ruka. Like I went to their international sales meeting, and it was the #1 item. And now there's those the jogger shorts that they have on the thing. It's just smashes, and they're like keep teasing me with it. They're like, if you can beat that, like so. But it's cool. It was rad because when Ruka approached me to do that collaboration, they were more like, oh, we want to do a camera bag. What do you think? Little did they know I'd show up next week with 10 different camera bags that I liked and just created a Frankenstein of my own, sizes, pieces from this, all the different things, and made it my own, where they're like, this is your bag. You made it. I would go in constantly. I'd fly up there every few weeks to a month and do that. Do my business meetings, all my different things. Go there and spend that time. Because that face value, there's so many. If you want to do something that's with your name on it, why would you not do that? I know so many guys that they're like, oh yeah, that's my short. Oh, that came out. You know what I mean? And no offense, but it's like, if you're going to put your name on it, be proud of it and put yourself into it. And it's transpired into a second bag. We have 4 new accessories coming out. We have a whole line of other things coming out and everything. I have an entire collection now with Ruka, and it's incredible.
How does that make you feel? That I think, again, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, and you got to fact check. But I think you are the only photographer that is sponsored and that does actually sell his stuff in a fashion brand. I mean, if you would have told me 5 years ago that you're going to come up with a camera bag, I would have been like, what, camera bag?
If you told me 8 years ago I would be sponsored by Ruka, my thing with Ruka is wear the clothes and represent the brand.
Yeah.
It's not this or that. It's be the advocate and be the voice of the brand, which is incredible that they treat me as an athlete.
Yeah.
Over
That's all
being
Pat.
you got to shoot.
It's all Pat.
That's a man.
It's Pat.
I love Pat.
No, but that is the brand. When everybody talk about Ruka,
But it was Pat's vision.
No, but Pat is an artist just like you. He's a jujitero, but by the end of Pat is all about relationship, and he loves shit that's XYZ, you know.
I met Pat right in Waikiki 10 years ago, and he then mentored me from there.
Yeah.
You know, and brought me in and do these, and this is his vision of doing this. But when he did it, I'm like, why you're gonna pay me and I wear the clothes and do what? No, I'm not gonna surf or do, you know. So it's a very weird thing, and it definitely was his vision and foresight to that to create something of that way. I'm very lucky, and you know, it's transpired into many other opportunities.
You are a brand yourself.
Absolutely.
I mean, you are the brand.
Absolutely. And now I get to work with amazing brands like Canon and all these different ones. I became a explorer of light for Canon, and there's 33 explorers of light in the world that they have, and I'm the only surf water, only Hawaii, and pretty crazy, and
right, you shoot Canon.
Amazing. Wow. So it's been fun. Been loving it.
So right now you represent Canon. You do stuff with them.
Yes.
Did you do also something with Apple?
I did. I did a couple commercials with Apple.
Yeah.
So I did some of their
heard.
campaigns, their shot-on campaigns, and I actually got to go to Cuba with them. So we went to Cuba and we shot a documentary on Cuban youth culture. And I went there for a week and a half with them and only shot on iPhone. It felt so weird. I was like, I'm not even going to bring my regular camera. And they brought all these iPhones and just grab one at a time and just shoot. And we shot a whole thing with boxing, surfing, everything.
All on iPhone.
All on iPhone.
Insane.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It turned out really well. Yeah.
Do you have already
How's
the 12?
the food?
No, I don't.
Zach.
I know.
How's the food in Cuba?
It's good.
Really?
It was good. Everything was great.
Did you
I had
smoke a
good time.
cigar at least?
I did not.
Yeah, I
no,
hate
we were
cigars. I don't do
running and
cigars.
gunning the whole time. But yeah, no, I wish. And no, I mean, I wish I got the new phone. I'm gonna get the new phone soon. But you know, I did an interesting thing recently because I feel social media is just so overbearing. I took social media off my phone, and I have it on my old phone, and it has to stay in Wi-Fi, so it only stays at home because I found myself driving, using it in the middle of my day, talking in line, getting food, anything like that. So I took social media off my phone. Then I went a step so I can only use it in the morning or the evening. And then I was like, I'm not even going to take it to sleep or the bedroom. So I got an old alarm clock. I have one that kind of lights up, and then I don't check it in the night or anything like that. I wake up, do my things, you know, and then I can look at my phone, check my emails, and I'm usually off. I wake up and I'm out the door because I want to get to work. I work so well in the morning. I blast some music. I got a great little office and just kind of do my thing.
You texted me this morning at 5:30.
I was jamming already. I was
That's
like, yeah. So, you know, and go to sleep early. And it's nice to have that different pathway of I feel more mental health and just clarity and finding those things through an absence of social media. I think it's an evil necessity. I think we need it, and it's tough because we come dependent on it. I feel that I've got a lot of jobs. I probably connected with Apple through it, many different brands and like clients. So it's an evil necessity. But luckily, there's some amazing
it's a blessing and a curse.
Absolutely.
So when you had to tell our listeners, would you recommend to them to have 2 phones? One, keep it at home, because by the end of the day, I mean, did you watch The Social Dilemma?
Yeah.
I mean,
I already had rid of it before then.
Yeah.
I've had, this has probably been about 6 months that I've had it like this, and I love it. And, you know, not having in the room where I check it at night or anything. You go to the bathroom, you want to see the time or something, then you get caught up on a texts or anything like that. It's like, nah, I'm going to just completely remove myself from that. And it's been good. I feel better. I mean, just anything of that, sleep early, and just I want to come out firing. I want to get in that office. There's so much to do. I keep being like, but I've been learning like new programs, all these different things, and I'm just loving that.
So
whole
you continue
other work.
to educate yourself
Absolutely.
and actually improve, update yourself like an iPhone.
Yeah, absolutely. And my new like passion has been like augmented reality and virtual reality, and teaching myself some of those like 3D and like the different programs like that. And where the hell I'm going with it, but it's fun.
That sounds very, very interesting.
So
very, very
you know what
interesting.
that means? All the future work of Zach is going to be like out of this fucking world.
I want to immerse the people. I mean, especially in these COVID times, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you can't be in real life yet. So how can we like bring different things to people?
How do you
like
stay
for the
constantly
clients?
creative? Like, how do you like constantly like feed your brain, your soul, and your creativity? Like, how do you get like?
Oof, that's a great question. I mean, you know, I love photography and shooting and like this, but like a lot of the times through this COVID, I didn't pick up a camera because there wasn't as much waves. I'm usually traveling, right? So it's like I wasn't getting all those things to shoot. I mean, like last year I was gone constantly traveling during the summer, and so, but a new camera came out from Canon, and I've just been like completely geeked out now and can't like stop with it, like reading things on it, learning on it, and playing with it, and like doing all these new features and functions and things like that. And it's like, holy cow, I fell all in love with it again. And it like makes me just so much more excited for the future of like shooting and things.
Wow.
Wait. Okay, on that note, ideal spot, right? Size of the wave,
Okay.
and the surfer.
Pipeline, 11 feet at 17 seconds, about 10 to 12 feet. You know, it's just capping on first reef. You don't want it too big on first reef, so you want that like 10, 11 feet coming in, just kind of feather cap, but just huge, right on first reef. You don't want it missing. You want it missing second reef, you know? And, you know, someone that I've traveled with for a good part of my life, big influence on me, has helped me throughout my career to be where I am, would be Danny Fuller. And I've gone to the ends of the earth with Danny and back worldwide, and still to this day, one of my like great friends that we talk weekly. And I can't think of a country I've been that he wasn't there with me or something, that we traveled and like we shoot it all and everywhere. Yeah.
My old life, I used to work for Quicksilver. My wife had the biggest crush on Danny. The biggest crush on Danny. When Danny walks in the home office, man, a woman just like, you know, Danny, he's got that Clint Eastwood kind of swag, you know.
Yes,
he doesn't say much. He got that smile, and he sits in there like, and there's a lot of great parties at a Quicksilver with Danny.
I bet.
Yeah. Anyways,
That's great.
that's amazing. I can see it. Wow. Kawaii boy too.
All right.
Yeah?
You know, we could talk here for hours.
Yeah.
And you know, you're one of the most interesting people that I've ever met, I have to admit, because you have so many stories, and you've been through so much with, you know, with 35 years old, you've been through so much. You know, Dewey and I really wanted to show you our gratitude. And we were thinking, you know, what can I get Zach Noyle? Zach Noyle has everything. And
extra lungs so he can stay in the water a little longer.
So we couldn't afford an extra pair of lungs. You know, we really were thinking to do something super special. We didn't know what to do. We went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And because you have everything, we said that we're going to create something for you.
Okay.
So I reached out to my boy, Anthony, from Ilikoi Goods. You should check him out at Ilikoi Goods. And I gave him, come to find out that he actually took your course at Photocon.
Okay, yeah.
And he really, really likes you.
Cool.
And he was so stoked to be part of this collaboration. And we gave him a shirt of Ruka because we know it needs to be Ruka. So we gave him a shirt, a button-down shirt of Ruka. And he took a Japanese, I think it's a pajama, an old Japanese fabric from a pajama. And he made you a deconstructed 5-panel.
Wow.
With waves on the side. That's the pajama. Some PJs. Ruka. And then here on the side you have your pin.
Dude.
Say splash.
That's beautiful. Wow.
I love you, brother.
Thank you so much.
We got to do something special for you.
Oh, man. Thank you.
I wish I could take the credit, but
Thank
with
you.
all his vision, he knows
I
you
know
so
him.
well, and he appreciates you
I can't
so
believe
much.
that.
Yeah, so that's all.
That's
That's all,
beautiful.
Johnny, man.
I want it to be something
He made
special.
this.
Yeah.
Well, you guys,
In one day, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony.
Duong is the guy. He's the guy.
Thank you. This is gorgeous, and I love it. That's amazing. And you guys,
You have here, this is his brand.
Okay.
You guys check him
Ilikoi.
out. Instagram at Ilikoi Goods.
Ilikoi Goods. I have headphones on, but hey, thank you so much. This is a very thoughtful and wonderful gift, and above all, thank you for having me here.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You guys, what you guys are doing and exemplifying the Aloha spirit and sharing these stories and uplifting, it's like we need that in our world these days.
Thank you.
And that's what we need to do. People need to uplift each other. There's too much tearing down.
Yeah.
There's too much, and we don't need that. We're a community. There's too much jealousy to tearing down to this or that. And for you guys to do this, thank you very much, because this is wonderful to see in this day and age and what's happening. To people taking the time to make something special and incredible. So thank you.
So
Thank
please
you.
don't disregard my little suggestion. One day you might want to be a governor or something. Maybe the mayor, maybe a senator. We need you in there somehow.
Oh man.
Because that's the problem, right? The problem is
is.
like those guys in there are not small, like all of us. We're like small business owners, right?
No, they're not.
On one hand, and on the other hand, we're like,
But you know what? I've seen it from working on this whole everyone thing because we had to
Yeah.
work with it.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. But
Jesus.
I know, but I'm trying to convince until you guys, the younger generations, kind of go in there and inspire each other and change this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while. But damn, Zach, I'm so impressed, man.
Thank
I'm
you
so,
very
like,
much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's been a
It's been a pleasure.
yeah, it's absolutely an honor.
And
I'm so
you're
stoked
freaking
right now.
inspiring, man.
Yeah.
Every time I do something, I wake up early. I know you woke up earlier.
No, no way.
Dude,
Okay.
favorite time of the day, I already know. Sunrise.
Yeah, get up. I'm dragging by 2 or 3 in the
Yeah.
afternoon. It's like I'm done usually. So it's like,
All right, now we're going to come to the uplifting part.
Uplifting.
And we have 5 what would you rather questions for Zach Noyle. I hope you guys are ready.
Uh-oh. Actually, in the meantime, I have this one question. Go ahead, if you can
Please.
find him. I'm always fascinated. Photographer, any artist. What percentage you think that you have your craft is from DNA that's been passed down? What percentage is pure grind, right? And I really don't know, because it's like, holy shit, you know. I mean, you look at Olympian, usually there's an Olympian somewhere along the line.
that's a great question because, my dad is still active as a commercial photographer. And funny you should say that. I mean, my grandfather was a photographer. My dad's dad. And he was a magician mainly. Did magic and different things. Was in the Magic Castle all over,
Right.
world renowned. But he also did photography, and he shot with one of the first 3D cameras ever. I actually have it in my office, and it has like 10 lenses, all old Nikon lenses.
What time frame you talking about now, Zach?
Oof.
19.
Oh man, I
early-
don't know if I can. I don't want to say it wrong,
yeah,
but
yeah. But
long,
it's long
long
time
before
ago.
my dad.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
I
right.
mean, and all mechanical, and he had all these fake buttons on it because the company didn't want anyone to know what it was. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, just so I don't know. I feel like the arts I have, and just I don't know. That's a very good.
50%, you think? I'm gonna squeeze
yeah,
you.
okay, I'll
You
give you a
think
50.
50
Yeah,
or
I'll go-
70,
I'll give you
80?
50.
50?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one last question, and then I would love for you to ask your father
Yep.
to pick his favorite portraits between you two
Okay.
together as father and son.
Okay.
And show it to you.
Okay.
But don't tell him for. Don't say anything. And I want you to do the same thing.
Okay.
Pick out the best photo
Okay.
of between you and your father.
Yeah.
And would you please post it and let us know which one you pick?
I gotta find some of those.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because then I'm gonna realize that I believe that genetics is like easy 50% passing through. You know, the creativity side. You know, it's like your $2 gonna get that crazy brain, but also
I hope so.
No, yeah, and also some of that
Creativity.
creative. Yeah, he's really
Yeah,
creative. You know?
absolutely.
And I would like to see that actually.
Yeah,
I want
that's
I
interesting.
want to see what. Cause it's a deep, emotionally photo, but yeah, it's also these guys gonna look at it from an artistic photographer perspective. I like to
agree.
see the difference.
I agree.
And that's it. I don't have anything else, but
Okay,
you can
I
go.
love
That's
it.
awesome.
Boom. Okay, so our 5 what would you rather questions.
Yes.
Zach Noyle, are you ready?
I am ready.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you rather? Be a python or a cobra?
Cobra.
What would you rather? Talk like Yoda or breathe like Darth Vader?
Talk like Yoda.
All right. What would you rather? Photograph only black and white nudes or colorful dudes?
You like this one? Black and white.
Okay, I thought so.
But even though you didn't define it, still black and white.
I like color dudes, man.
All right. What would you rather? Be on the cover of Esquire magazine but have a booger right on top of your nose, or have a great cover picture but it's in the midweek?
I guess Esquire.
No shame, right?
Keep that booger on.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's start the conversation.
And last but not least, what would you rather, Zach Noyle? Take pictures of the next Eddie Aikau while you're floating on a rubber ducky or on a pink swan?
Rubber ducky.
Yes, go rubber ducky. Zach Noyle, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank
we
you very
appreciate
much.
that. You've been an awesome guest. Super
Yeah, this is
inspiring.
awesome.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
it's
Thank you so
incredible.
much. I love you, Dewey. I love you,
I
Zach.
love you, Johnny. I love you, Zach. I love you, Brad.
I love you, Brad. Episode 6 is in the book.